Okay, you're going to hear my daughter in the background a lot. Anyway, I wanted to apologize because I'm still slacking on my Rodney Alcala research, but I promise I will research later today. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys the progress I've made on my loom knitting. So I am completely done with this panel. It starts here, goes to here. So I want to show you guys how to cast off. Okay, so right now you only have one loop on each side, and that's where you want to be at. So then you're going to take your loops from one side and move them over. So this first loop, I'm just going to take it off on with my needle, and then I'm just going to move it over to this loop and put it down. So now there's 2 loops on this peg. And you're just going to do that all the way down to the end. I have a total of 36 pegs on my entire loom. So I have 18 on each side. My daughter is telling me that she's hungry. So you're just gonna work your way all the way down to the end. I know, baby, I hear you, okay? Here you go. There you go. So yeah, as you can see, all I'm doing is moving the loops from this side onto this side. I'll show you again. You just take it off on your needle like this, pull it up, and then put it down. Now, another way to do it is to get it off on your needle, and then when you get it up to the middle, take your needle out, grab it with your fingers, and then use that to put it down. Some people use only their needles, some people use only their fingers. I like to use a combination of both. I just find that it's easier. So the way I actually do it is I take it off with the needle, and then when I get to about the middle of it, that's when I grab it with my fingers and pull it open a little bit so that it just slides onto the peg a little easier than if I don't do that. That's just the way that I prefer to do it. Everybody's different. You just have to find what works for you. But I like to do it that way. Now, one more important thing to notice is you are going to have the rest of your string hanging out of one side. That is the side you're going to go to last. Okay? So let me show you what to do now. So now you have all of your loops on one side of your loom. See? All of them are on one side. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing that you've done most of your loom knitting. You're going to take the bottom loop and put it over the top. And so once you take your bottom one and put it onto the top, you are much closer to being done. So this is just like loom knitting. You just put it on the needle and pull it over the top like this. Oops, hold on. Okay, so here, this one came off. Because it's the last loom knitting, you don't twist it, you just put it back on. If it was regular loom knitting and we had both sides still, you'd have to twist it before you put it back on. But this one, it's pretty easy, which is nice because all you have to do is put it back on. So this will pretty much lock the previous line into place. And then we have to lock the last line in and get it secured at the top. Otherwise, it'll fall apart. Okay, so now we have all of them. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this, now I'm going to my left, because that's where my string is. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take the loop and you're going to take, the most right one, and you're going to put it over the left one, the one directly to its left. Like this. No, hold on, I did that backwards. Yeah, I did that backwards, sorry. I did it the wrong way. Okay, my bad. You're going to take the left one and put it over the right one. Sorry. So you're going to take the second one and you're going to put it over the one directly to its right. Okay? Like this. So now you have a peg skipped. So you're going to take the bottom loop and you're going to pull it over the top. Like that. Okay? Then you're going to take this loop and you're going to move it back to its original peg. So you're just going to hook it And again, I use my hands like I did before. Okay, and see, now it's back. So now you're going to take this one and put it on top of this one. So again, you're going to skip the first peg, go to the second peg that has, and then, so see, now you have a skipped peg again. So you're going to take the bottom one and put it over the top. So just like you were loom knitting. Now you're going to take the one that was originally on the third peg and put it back where it was. And so basically all you're going to do is whatever peg you're on, go to the one directly next to it and put it on top of it. Now you need to be working towards your string, not away from your string. So whatever side your string is on, go that way. And then, so again, my string is to my left. So I'm putting them to the right and then knitting over them and just going, and then you always have to put your loop back on the peg it was originally on. And the reason why, I will show you when I get to the end, but I'm only on like the fourth one out of like 18. So it'll take a little while. But this part is probably the most tedious part of loom knitting. It is the only part I don't like because it's just tedious. And it's kind of the most boring part because, you know, you're moving stuff and then you're knitting and then you're moving whatever it was that you moved back to where it originally was, which makes moving it the first time seem kind of unimportant, but you have to do it this way, otherwise you will not be able to cast off. And if there is another way to cast off, I haven't learned it. But yes, this is pretty much how you do this. I'm almost done. So when you're doing it, it actually seems faster when I'm doing it without videotaping it because I'm like, oh, they're waiting for me to finish, and I feel bad that I'm making you guys wait so long. But yeah, this is just what I have to do to make sure that it's done and it gets where it's supposed to be. Because I want it to be good, because now you guys can make whatever you want out of your loom knitting. You can make scarves. You can get looms that make hats. You can get looms that make socks. You can get loom. I mean, you can pretty much get a loom for anything: hats, scarves, mittens. My aunt and her daughters make cowl scarves that are so beautiful. Or they used to. I don't know if they still do. They're beautiful, though. They have a button in the front. You know, I cannot do that. I have a circular loom that I could make like hats and scarves out of. It's just the way that they do the circular looms. I don't understand some of the ways that they do the knots, and so I can't do it. Not that way, at least. But yeah, and then. So see, I've gotten most of it done. I'm almost done, I promise. I have a couple more loops to do, and then I'll be done. But yeah. So what I make, they could be scarves by themselves. But what I'm going to do is make this panel and the other two panels I have, I'm going to stitch together and make into a blanket. A family blanket. So I made Jake a blanket while he was in AIT and sent it to him, and he got to use it for the last couple of weeks, and he was able to use it in jump school as well. And so I'm making this family blanket. Jake said it needs to be a blanket big enough for the three of us to cuddle under. Well, with only 3 panels, it won't be big enough for all 3 of us. But the reason I'm doing 3 panels is one for each member of our family. Me, Jake, and Elise. Okay. So now I'm done with this part. So this last loop that you have, there's only 1 loop left on the loom now, just this one. You do not have to move it back to its original peg. I leave it here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your string. Hold on, let me find the rest of it because I was lucky and had leftovers. What you're going to do is you're going to take this off. Okay, you're going to make your loop. Now, you don't need all of this extra, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off some of the extra so that I only have this much left. And what you're going to do is you're going to loop it through this last loop. And that finishes it. So now it's completely off. My loom is empty. Oh, hold on. I have string on it. My loom is empty. Oh, that was loud. The entire knitting is all here. This is my panel. This is what it looks like. But the reason that you go towards your string is because at the end of it, and actually you're supposed to go through the end twice. So you go through and then you go through it again. And then you have to enter it from the same side. But when you do it twice, that'll make sure that it stays knitted closed. So see how it's so tight? But if we look at the bottom's really loose. What you have to do at the top is you have to stretch it. Don't worry, you're not going to break it. You're not going to make it come undone. You just have to stretch it so that you can knit it together. So it's very nice and warm. I have a really good yarn. But that's all you have to do to cast off. And I will probably start knitting them together soon, but I might do other panels first. They won't be family panels. They'll just be panels. Filler panels is what I'm going to call them. They're going to be filler panels. And once I get that done, I will continue. And then every time, Jake and I have a kid, I will add a panel to it. We will probably only have one other kid, but who knows? We might have more. But yeah, if you have leftovers, you can do whatever you want with them. I don't have a whole lot, so I don't know. I did make like a washcloth out of some string I had. I never used it. It was just pretty to have. Elise is falling asleep. I made a scarf. I've made a blanket before. And I will probably make another blanket for a family member. So if you want one, place orders. Tell me what color string you want. Or yarn, I guess. Tell me what color yarn you want. How big you want it. They're all going to be about this thick, but again, more panels. So tell me anywhere from like 3 to 6, 3 to 9, however many you want. And I will make it if you want one. If I'm already planning on making one for you, then I will take your yarn requests into account because I am planning on making some for other people. And I guess we'll just have to see where that takes us exactly. But I have to leave in a little more than an hour to go tutoring, and I am still in my PJs. So we're going to end this here. My daughter is asleep now. She's out. She's done for the day. But we'll end this here, and I will see you guys in my next Rodney Alcala video. Bye.